Imagine planning the perfect cruise vacation only to have it completely upended by a hurricane. It's becoming a real risk for more travelers every year. In the past, cruise lines could navigate around storms with minimal disruption, but things have changed. Hurricanes are now stronger, more frequent, and more unpredictable than ever before. In the last 4 years alone, 3 out of 4 seasons produced at least 20 named storms, compared to just 1 season in the previous 40 years. And it's not just the number of storms that's concerning. These hurricanes are more intense, forcing cruise lines to scramble as storms suddenly intensify into life-threatening situations. If you're thinking about taking a cruise during hurricane season, this is the information you can't afford to miss. Your safety and vacation plans might be at risk in ways you never expected. Hey y'all, I'm Evan with Family at Sea, where we help make every cruise unforgettable. Today we're tackling something every cruiser needs to know. Hurricane season is changing and it's impacting cruise travel in major ways. In this video, you'll discover how hurricanes are reshaping cruise itineraries and what cruise lines are doing to keep you safe. We'll also cover what really happens if a hurricane hits while you're on a cruise and whether cruising during hurricane season is worth the risk. Plus, I'll share tips on how to prepare so you can take advantage of those tempting off-season deals without sacrificing safety. Stick around because this is cruising through hurricane season, what you need to know before you book. If you're ready, I am. Let's go. If you're planning a cruise vacation, you need to hear this. Your dream getaway could be in jeopardy and your safety might be at risk. The culprit, an alarming surge in hurricane activity that's wreaking havoc on the cruise industry. For decades, cruise lines have navigated hurricane seasons with relative ease. Occasional storms were a known risk, but largely manageable, but that era has come to an abrupt end. In 2020, the Atlantic unleashed a record-shattering 30 named storms. This wasn't a freak occurrence, it was a warning shot. 3 of the last 4 years have seen at least 20 named storms each season. In the 40 years prior, this level activity only happened once. But it's not just the frequency that's changing. These storms are evolving, becoming more intense and unpredictable. Take Hurricane Milton in 2024. In less than 24 hours, it transformed from a modest Category 1 to a monstrous Category 5, leaving cruise ships scrambling for safety. This rapid intensification, as they call it, is no longer rare. In fact, it's becoming the new normal. The root cause? Rising sea temperatures. For every 1 degree Fahrenheit increase, hurricanes can hold 4% more moisture, more heat, more fuel, more destruction. This new reality is hitting the cruise industry hard. In the past 4 years, we've averaged 4 Category 5 hurricanes annually, more than double the previous 4-decade average. These aren't just statistics. They represent millions of dollars in losses and thousands of disrupted vacations. One major cruise line reported weather-related losses exceeding $50 million in 2023 alone. Industry-wide, weather-related itinerary changes have surged 30% in just 5 years. The ripple effects extend beyond the ships themselves. In 2022, hurricane damage forced 3 major Caribbean ports to close for an average of 2 months each. The result? Over 200 canceled port calls, leaving tourists disappointed and local economies reeling. As the climate continues to warm, these trends are only expected to intensify. The question now isn't whether the cruise industry will have to adapt, but how quickly and at what cost. Cruise lines are navigating these turbulent waters in ways that could shape the future of sea travel, especially as climate change forces the industry to adapt. The calm seas of yesterday are giving way to the storms of tomorrow, and both the industry and cruisers are bracing for impact. Before we dive deeper into the challenges and opportunities of hurricane season cruising, I wanted to take a quick moment to connect with you, my amazing audience. This video represents a shift in my content, delving into the more complex aspects of cruising that aren't often discussed. The impact of intensifying hurricane seasons on the cruise industry is a multifaceted issue that affects not just us as travelers, but also the cruise lines, destination communities, and even the global climate. After watching this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you find this deeper dive into cruise industry challenges interesting? Would you like to see more content that explores the behind-the-scenes aspects of cruising? Are there specific topics related to cruise safety, industry adaptations, or travel planning you'd like me to explore in future videos? Your feedback will help shape the direction of my future content, so be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. I also want to ask for your support in another way. Creating well-researched, in-depth content like this requires a significant investment of time and resources. If you appreciate the work that goes into these videos and you want to see more, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Your support, whether it's a thumbs up or a subscription or even just sharing this video with your fellow cruise enthusiasts, truly means the world to me. It's what keeps me motivated to continue creating content that informs, engages, and helps you make the most of your cruising experiences. Thank you for being here and for your incredible support. Now, let's navigate the choppy waters of hurricane season cruising and discover how to turn potential challenges into unforgettable adventures. As the frequency and intensity of hurricanes escalate, the cruise industry finds itself navigating increasingly treacherous waters. While itinerary changes and port delays are frustrating, they're just the tip of the iceberg. Some passengers have found themselves unwitting participants in nature's most terrifying spectacles. Hurricane Fiona in September 2022 unleashed chaos on the cruise industry. As the storm churned towards the Caribbean, multiple cruise ships found themselves in a race against nature. Passengers aboard these vessels experienced far more than they bargained for. Intense rolling waves battered the ships, sending furniture sliding and stomachs churning. Many guests spent their dream vacations confined to their cabins, grappling with severe seasickness. The violent pitching and swaying left even seasoned cruisers feeling vulnerable and afraid. Meanwhile, cruise lines scrambled to reroute ships, leaving carefully planned itineraries in shambles and disappointed travelers in their wake. But this wasn't an isolated incident. That same month, as Hurricane Ian formed in the Caribbean, at least 40 cruise ships had to modify their itineraries. Royal Caribbean's Allure of the Seas and Symphony of the Seas, both massive Oasis-class ships carrying thousands of passengers, were forced to skip their scheduled stops in the Western Caribbean and reroute to the Eastern Caribbean instead. These last-minute changes left passengers disappointed and cruise lines scrambling to arrange new port visits and onboard activities. The financial toll on cruise lines is staggering. Weather-related disruptions have cost the industry hundreds of millions of dollars annually in recent years. But the true cost goes beyond dollars and cents. Caribbean ports, crucial hubs for the cruise industry, are increasingly vulnerable. When major storms hit, these ports can be out of commission for weeks or even months, devastating local economies that depend on tourism. The environmental impact of these reroutes presents a troubling paradox. As ships alter course to avoid storms, they often travel longer distances. This increased mileage means burning more fuel and pumping out higher emissions. In a cruel twist of fate, these actions end up contributing to the very climate change that's intensifying the storms they're trying to escape. It's a vicious cycle that puts both the cruise industry and our planet's health in jeopardy. Amidst these challenges, the human element often goes unnoticed. Ship crews find themselves on the front lines, battling not just the physical storms, but also waves of anxiety and stress. During hurricane season, many crew members report being constantly on edge, torn between ensuring passenger safety and maintaining the carefree atmosphere cruises are known for. It's a delicate balancing act that takes a significant toll on their mental well-being. Recognizing these mounting pressures, cruise lines are frantically seeking solutions. They've poured millions into cutting-edge weather prediction systems, hoping to stay one step ahead of the storms. Yet, in our rapidly changing climate, even the most advanced technology struggles to accurately forecast a hurricane's erratic behavior. Flexible scheduling has become the new norm, allowing for last-minute route changes. But this adaptability comes at a cost. Disappointed passengers and logistical headaches for ports and suppliers alike. Some companies are even venturing into new territory, exploring designs for more storm-resistant ships. However, maritime experts caution that in the face of nature's fury, no vessel can be truly hurricane-proof. As the industry navigates these turbulent waters, one thing is clear: the solutions of yesterday may not be enough for the storms of tomorrow. For travelers, the allure of sunny beaches and crystal clear waters now comes with a significant risk. Passengers are left wondering, is the risk worth the reward when cruising during hurricane season? As we continue to uncover the realities of cruising in this new era of climate uncertainty, one thing becomes clear: the cruise industry is at a crossroads. The challenges are mounting, from financial losses to passenger safety concerns. But what about solutions? How are cruise lines fighting back against nature's increasing fury? The answers may lie in cutting-edge technology and artificial intelligence. As we sail deeper into these uncharted waters, we'll explore how the industry is harnessing the power of innovation to predict, avoid, and manage these storm-related risks. The question remains, in this high-stakes game of ship versus storm, can technology turn the tide in favor of safer, more reliable cruising? Stay with us as we navigate the future of sea travel in an era of climate change. In the face of increasingly severe weather, the cruise industry is arming itself with cutting-edge technology. Today's cruise lines deploy an arsenal of high-tech solutions to navigate the stormy seas of climate change. At the forefront is advanced storm tracking. Cruise lines now employ sophisticated systems that combine data from satellites, weather stations, and other ships themselves to create a comprehensive, real-time picture of weathering patterns. Royal Caribbean's Miami-based Maritime Medical Operations Center uses AI-powered algorithms to analyze vast amounts of meteorological data, predicting storm paths with unprecedented accuracy. But the technology doesn't stop at prediction. Modern cruise ships are equipped with dynamic positioning systems, allowing them to maintain their position even in rough seas. These systems use GPS and powerful thrusters to automatically adjust the ship's position, counteracting the effects of wind and waves. Artificial intelligence also plays a crucial role in these advancements. AI algorithms optimize route planning, taking into account not just weather patterns, but also fuel efficiency and passenger comfort. Norwegian Cruise Line has implemented an AI-driven decision support system that helps captains make critical choices during severe weather events, analyzing hundreds of variables in real time. Some cruise lines are even using AI for predictive maintenance. By analyzing data from thousands of sensors throughout the ship, these systems can identify potential issues that might compromise a ship's ability to handle severe weather, ensuring vessels are always in top condition. When sailing through storms is unavoidable, stabilization technology comes into play. The latest cruise ships are equipped with advanced stabilizers that can reduce roll by up to 80%, ensuring passenger comfort even in rough seas. MSC Cruises world-class ships takes this even further with their G-force reduction system, which uses AI to predict wave patterns and adjust the ship's movement. While these technological advancements are impressive, they're not without challenges. The massive amount of data being processed requires significant computing power and robust cybersecurity measures. Moreover, there's an ongoing debate about the balance between automation and human expertise in critical decision making. As climate change continues to intensify, the role of technology in storm management for cruise ships is only set to grow. From AI-powered weather routing to automated stabilization systems, these innovations are reshaping how the industry approaches severe weather. But will these technological marvels be enough to keep cruise ships and their passengers safe in increasingly turbulent seas? The answer to that question will undoubtedly shape the future of the cruise industry. While these technological advancements offer impressive safeguards, they can't eliminate the risk entirely. So what if a hurricane threatens your cruise while you're on board? First and foremost, modern cruise ships are built to withstand severe weather. Their massive size and advanced stabilization systems mean they can safely navigate through conditions that would leave smaller vessels in peril. However, the goal is always to avoid the storm entirely. If a hurricane is forecast to intersect with a ship's path, the captain and onshore teams ships spring into action. Using the advanced tracking and AI systems we discussed earlier, they'll plot a course to steer clear of the storm's path. This might mean altering the itinerary, skipping ports, or even reversing course to head away from the danger. Should a ship find itself unexpectedly close to a hurricane, passengers might experience increased motion and higher waves. In these situations, the crew implements strict safety protocols. Public areas might be closed, loose items secured, and passengers advised to stay in their cabins. The medical team prepares for potential cases of seasickness, while the entertainment staff works overtime to keep spirits high despite the change in plans. In extreme cases, ships might seek shelter in a port outside the storm's path. While this can lead to disappointing itinerary changes, it's always preferable to risking passenger safety. Throughout all of this, cruise lines maintain constant communication with passengers, providing updates and explaining the reasons behind any changes. It's worth noting that being on a cruise ship during a hurricane is often safer than being in coastal areas. Ships can move out of harm's way, while land-based structures cannot. Moreover, cruise ships have redundant systems for power, water, and other essentials, ensuring comfort even in challenging conditions. However, the increasing frequency and intensity of hurricanes are forcing cruise lines to rethink their long-term strategies. While technology allows for better prediction and navigation of storms, the unpredictability of these weather events is leading to more frequent last-minute itinerary changes. This not only disappoints passengers, but also strains relationships with ports and suppliers. As we look to the future, we're seeing signs of a shift in the industry. Cruise lines are starting to adjust their itineraries and sailing seasons in response to changing weather patterns. But how exactly are these changes manifesting, and what does it mean for the future of Caribbean cruising? While these immediate responses are crucial, they're merely the opening act in a much larger production. The worsening hurricane seasons are forcing a sweeping transformation across the entire cruise landscape. Long-held strategies are being tossed overboard as cruise lines grapple with fundamental questions. When is it safe to sail, and which destinations can withstand the changing climate? The very essence of Caribbean cruising is being reshaped before our eyes. As the industry charts a course through this storm of change, it faces a delicate balancing act between honoring tradition and embracing necessary adaptation. The question that now looms on the horizon is clear. How will the cruise industry reinvent itself to weather the increasingly turbulent seas of tomorrow? The cruise industry is navigating choppy waters as hurricane seasons intensify. But rather than battening down the hatches, they're charting new courses to keep the vacation dreams alive. Contrary to expectations, cruise lines aren't abandoning the Caribbean during peak hurricane months. Instead, they're getting creative. Flexible itineraries are becoming the norm, where passengers are told up front that their ports of call might change faster than the weather itself. It's a bit like meteorological musical chairs, with destination swapped right up until departure or even mid-cruise if a storm threatens. We're also seeing a shift in cruise maps. While the Eastern Caribbean isn't completely off the radar, there's a noticeable tilt toward the Western Caribbean. Ports in Mexico, Belize, and Honduras are the new rising stars, being less likely to face a hurricane's wrath. Some lines are even venturing further south, beyond the traditional hurricane belt to islands like Aruba and Curacao. It's not just about where the ships are going, but the ships themselves. Cruise lines are deploying their newest, most powerful vessels in the Caribbean during hurricane season. These maritime marvels can outrun storms more effectively, giving captains more options when severe weather looms. Perhaps the most intriguing development is the rise of private islands. These aren't just fancy beach clubs, they're strategic assets built to withstand nature's fury. With structures designed to brave Category 5 hurricanes and advanced warning systems, these islands serve multiple purposes. They're less likely to suffer long-term damage, can act as nearby safe havens during less severe weather, and can even serve as bases for post-storm relief efforts. Despite these clever adaptations, last-minute changes are becoming the new normal. Cruises to nowhere, where ships sail out to sea and return without stopping at ports, are increasingly used as Plan B when storms crash the party. As the industry navigates these turbulent times, flexibility is the name of the game for both cruise lines and passengers. But what does this mean for you, the traveler? If you're considering a hurricane season cruise, there's a lot you need to know to ensure smooth sailing. Let's dive into the essentials every cruiser should consider before setting sail in these unpredictable waters. So, are you considering a cruise during hurricane season? There are some important factors to weigh before setting sail in these unpredictable seas. Hurricane season cruises can offer attractive perks like significant discounts, sometimes up to 50% off peak rates. While ships usually sail at full capacity year-round, you often encounter fewer families as kids are back in school. And when the weather cooperates, the Caribbean can be absolutely stunning. However, these advantages come with risks. Your itinerary might change at the last minute, skipping ports or swapping destinations. In rare cases, you could even encounter rough seas. While Eastern Caribbean routes are more likely to be affected, any itinerary can be impacted. Timing is crucial. Early June and late November typically see less storm activity than August and September, but if you're risk adverse, timing is crucial. Hurricane season lasts through early June through late November, but you'll typically see less storm activity than you will in August and September, which are these peak seasons. So if you're risk averse and you're going to be sailing during hurricane season, you'll definitely want to consider these shoulder periods. When you're cruising during hurricane season, I would say travel insurance is not only essential, I would say it should be mandatory, but choose wisely. Third-party policies often offer better coverage than cruise line insurance with higher reimbursement rates and more scenarios covered. I've included a link to my trusted providers in the description below if you're interested, but no matter what you do, just make sure you're covered so if something does happen, you're not left holding the bag. Flexibility is key. Be prepared for last-minute changes to your carefully chosen itinerary. When booking flights, opt for refundable fares or those allowing free changes. Pack smartly. Include motion sickness remedies and some warm layers in case the ship needs to sail to cooler waters to avoid a storm. Keep an eye on the weather before your cruise. Major itinerary changes are usually announced 48 hours before departure. While changes are common, it's extremely rare for an entire cruise to be canceled. Remember, modern cruise ships have state-of-the-art weather tracking technology, and crews are highly trained to prioritize passenger safety. Millions cruise successfully during hurricane season every year. Ultimately, it's a calculated risk. By understanding the challenges and preparing accordingly, you can set yourself up for a memorable vacation, come rain or shine. Don't forget to pack your sense of adventure along with your sunscreen. As we dock at the end of our journey through the world of hurricane season cruising, I hope you found this information valuable. If you did, it'd mean a lot to me if you'd give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world to me and helps more fellow cruise enthusiasts discover the content. Now, if you're feeling inspired to set sail but want to keep more cash in your pocket, I've got you covered. Click the link above to discover my top insider tips for saving money on your next cruise adventure. Trust me, your wallet will thank you. And remember, whether you're planning a cruise next year or next decade, staying informed is your best defense against the choppy seas ahead. Until next time, may your seas be smooth and your horizons wide. Bon voyage!